Translation choices intersect with modern technomancy, secret societies, and institutional networks. Executed code. Uncovering secret societies, esoteric geometry, and the translation errors that shaped history. In modern popular culture, history is viewed through a strictly linear lens. Humanity allegedly moved from primitive superstition to religious dogmatism, eventually arriving at modern empirical rigor. However, when ancient non-canonical texts, esoteric Judaism, Hermeticism, and Mediterranean mystery cults are examined through a structural and mathematical framework, a very different reality emerges. Ancient angelology, planetary cults, and esoteric initiation rites were early attempts to map applied physics, planetary mechanics, and non-human intelligence through geometric constants. Stripping away canonical theology, popular tropes, and medieval folklore reveals an underlying blueprint. Physical reality modeled not as a biological accident, but as an executed program. 1. The executed code, ancient technomancy and astrotheology. When canonical dogma and devotional sentiment are removed from early manuscripts, the remaining material points to a cohesive system of applied geometry and astronomy. Mithraism and processional mechanics. Mithraism and surrounding Sol Invictus cults functioned as precision-encoded astronomical systems tracking the processional mechanics of the equinoxes, the 25,772-year wobble of Earth's axis. Axial precession filled down-pointing triangle shift in equinoctial constellation filled down-pointing triangle the tauroctony filled down-pointing triangle ascent through 7 planetary spheres. Filled circle the tauroctony is a celestial map. The central motif, Mithras slaying the bull, represented the end of the age of Taurus and the transition into Aries caused by axial precession. Mithras was the personified force capable of shifting the celestial sphere itself. Filled circle the 7 planetary gates. Initiates progressed through 7 distinct degrees linked to celestial bodies to systematically bypass Heimarman, the deterministic, mathematical fate imposed by planetary orbital mechanics. The Enochic lineage, data transmission and system blueprints. In pseudepigraphal literature, most notably the Book of Enoch, the figures of Enoch, Methuselah, and Melchizedek represent an unbroken chain of technical and astronomical data transmission. Filled circle Enoch as the scribe engineer, depicted as a technician taken into heavenly architecture to record coordinates, stellar movements, and the exact 364-day solar calendar, receiving system blueprints rather than ethical homilies. Filled circle Melchizedek as the unbound operator, described as being, without father, mother, or genealogy, operating entirely outside conventional priesthoods or localized covenants as a representative of universal cosmic law. The Cainite-Sethian synthesis, Metatron's cube is applied geometry. Esoteric traditions trace 2 parallel lines of human development. Filled circle the Cainite lineage, mastered metallurgy, urban infrastructure, weaponization, and practical manipulation of physical elements. Filled circle the Sethian lineage, mastered astronomy, celestial mechanics, sacred geometry, and systemic cosmic order. The alchemical fusion of these 2 lines produced the figure of Metatron, the celestial architect, and the mathematical construct known as Metatron's cube. Derived from 13 intersecting spheres, Metatron's cube contains the 78 vector lines that form the 3-dimensional wireframes for all 5 platonic solids. 13 center spheres filled down-pointing triangle 78 interconnecting vector lines filled down-pointing triangle 5 platonic solids. Filled down-pointing triangle 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 tetrahedron hexahedron octahedron icosahedron dodecahedron. In Pythagorean technomancy and Hermetic alchemy, these 5 geometries were treated as the fundamental structural lattice of physical matter. Filled circle tetrahedron, directional energy vectors and combustion. Filled circle hexahedron cube, static mass, density, and spatial structure. Filled circle octahedron, molecular compression and gaseous dynamics. Filled circle icosahedron, fluid motion and dynamic flow. Filled circle dodecahedron, the bounding container of the spacetime grid itself. Historical technomancy vs modern NHI disclosure. Comparing ancient esoteric frameworks directly against contemporary defense and intelligence discussions surrounding non-human intelligence shows that the core concept has evolved in vocabulary rather than substance. Filled circle the medium, hollow circle ancient esoteric model, ether the celestial lattice. Hollow circle modern framework, quantum field spacetime metric. Filled circle intermediaries, hollow circle ancient esoteric model, watchers, archons, Metatron, angels. Hollow circle modern framework, non-human intelligence, ultra-dimensionals. Filled circle mechanics interface. Hollow circle ancient esoteric model, sacred geometry, planetary gates, Metatron's cube, sigils, invocations. Hollow circle modern framework, Quantum field mechanics, zero-point energy, metric manipulation, frequency resonance. Filled circle transmission, access. Hollow circle ancient esoteric model, Enochic scribing, hermetic gnosis, initiation tiers. Hollow circle modern framework, technological transfer, signal intelligence, reverse engineering. Filled circle authority class, hollow circle ancient esoteric model, secret societies, high priestly orders, hermetic brotherhoods. Hollow circle modern framework, classified programs, unacknowledged special access programs. Filled circle objective, hollow circle ancient esoteric model, escape Heimarman, master matter. Hollow circle modern framework, transcending classical physics, craft performance. 2. Shadow infrastructure, the Black Lodge. When stripped of dramatic fluff, the concept of the Black Lodge acts as the operational counterpart to the executed code framework. Filled circle origin, fiction, and esoteric lore. Popularized by Mark Frost and David Lynch in Twin Peaks as an extra-dimensional realm of darkness, malevolent spirits, and negative human emotion, its concept predates television. In late 19th and early 20th century occultism, theosophy, and Western esotericism, authors like Dion Fortune, Aleister Crowley, and Madame Blavatsky used Black Lodge to describe an alleged cabal of dark magicians or Black Brothers, seeking spiritual power through ego, selfishness, and destruction, opposing the White Lodge, or Ascended Masters. Filled circle the system administrators of the Dark Axis. In both early Gnostic cosmology and 19th century esoteric models, the Black Lodge represents entities or initiates operating on the inverse vector of the geometric lattice. Filled circle mechanics of parasitism. While the Sethian Enochic tradition sought access to Metatron's cube to understand system architecture and align with macrocosmic order, the Black Lodge framework uses geometric constants and frequency resonance to hijack local fields. In Twin Peaks, the Black Lodge relies on fear and suffering, which translates into modern field terms as the extraction of raw bioelectric energy to sustain an entity outside classical physical bounds. Filled circle technomancy application. It is the application of the Cainite lineage, metallurgy, weaponization, and practical manipulation, separated from Sethian cosmic calibration. It is technology used to trap and harvest rather than liberate. 3. The transhumanist mandate, plus ultra versus ne plus ultra. The shift from the ancient warning ne plus ultra to the aggressive mandate plus ultra marks the turning point where human operators attempted to seize the administrative tools of the simulation. Ancient imperial bounds the technocratic shift. Do not cross the boundary, hack the boundary, break the system privileges. Filled circle historical motto in high degrees. Plus ultra was adopted by Emperor Charles V as the national motto of Spain, intentionally reversing the ancient Latin warning non plus ultra carved onto the pillars of Hercules at the edge of the known world to symbolize exploration, risk-taking, and pushing boundaries. In classical Freemasonry, ne plus ultra is historically associated with the highest degree reachable within a specific rite. Filled circle fiction, pop culture, and the secret society blueprint. In fiction, most notably featured in Disney's Tomorrowland and its surrounding viral alternate reality games, Plus Ultra is depicted as a secret society of visionary thinkers, scientists, and artists working to build a technological utopia away from corrupting world influences. In both real-world elite networks and esoteric circles, Plus Ultra is the philosophy of bypassing natural law. Filled circle the breakaway civilization. The underlying premise of Plus Ultra is the formation of a breakaway civilization, an elite initiate class that hoards non-human intelligence discoveries, zero-point field controls, and advanced propulsion, keeping the masses trapped inside the deterministic grid while operating further beyond. 4. Propaganda due and earthly enforcement. Propaganda due demonstrates how these esoteric structures manifest as real-world covert networks. It was a clandestine, far-right Masonic lodge under the Grand Orient of Italy that operated as an illegal shadow government. Filled circle key figure. Transformed by Licio Gelli in the 1970s after its official charter was revoked in 1976, violating Article 18 of the Italian Constitution banning secret associations. Filled circle activities and scandals. Implicated in Italian crimes and mysteries including the collapse of the Holy See-affiliated Banco Ambrosiano, the contract killings of journalist Carmen Pecorelli and mobbed-up banker Roberto Calvi, political corruption. Within the Manipulite bribery scandal, anti-communist network operations, and Michele Sindona's financial collapse. Filled circle membership included high-ranking Italian military officers, politicians, intelligence heads, and business figures. Filled circle the Orange Circle Orange Order distinction. If Orange Circle refers to an organization, it is often confused with or referenced alongside other fraternal secret societies. The Loyal Orange Institution is a Protestant fraternal organization founded in Ulster in 1795. Though it mimics some ritual structures of Freemasonry, it is a separate political, religious entity and is not historically affiliated with Continental Freemasonry or P2. Orange circles are also used in modern logos and Masonic symbolism, but no direct historical, orange circle, organization link into the official structure of Liceo Gelli's P2 Lodge exists. 5. The Unified System, Intermediaries, Objectives, and Networks. Connecting P2, the Black Lodge, and Plus Ultra reveals a unified operational chain. Filled circle the Black Lodge, the non-human or extra-dimensional entities operating within the shadow metrics of the simulation. Filled circle Plus Ultra, the ideological directive to break classical physical limits, reverse engineer NHI physics, and establish complete control over the material plane. Filled circle P2, secret lodges, the clandestine, illegal shadow structures that operate above governments, using blackmail, financial collapses, and covert operations to ensure the initiate class retains absolute administrative override. 6. The Templar Transmission, Dynastic Survival and Secret Orders. The claim that a physical, historical Jesus survived the crucifixion and left behind dynastic lineage artifacts, popularized by projects like James Cameron's The Lost Tomb of Jesus, bridges ancient Near Eastern socio-political struggles and medieval chivalric orders. 1st century Judea, royal dynastic resistance filled down pointing triangle crucifixion event and suppressed lineage artifacts filled down pointing triangle 12th century Jerusalem, Templar excavations at Temple Mount filled down pointing triangle transmission to Western esoteric orders. The Talpiot tomb, dynastic survival, and royal masonry. Filled circle the craft as architectural lineage. Operative masonry historically traces its symbolic heritage to the building of Solomon's temple, the physical manifestation of sacred geometry on earth. Filled circle the post-crucifixion thesis. Alternative historical models position Jesus not as a divine entity outside physical laws, but as a high-ranking, initiate king within an esoteric, dynastic network. In this framework, the resurrection is recontextualized as survival, flight, or continuation of the royal bloodline, hidden beneath the cover of early secret societies to escape Roman imperial purge. The Templar Vatican Malta Nexus. The Knights Templar were established in 1119 CE to protect pilgrims, setting up headquarters directly over the Temple Mount in Jerusalem. The mystery cult continuum filled down pointing triangle ancient astrotheology and Gnostic technomancy filled down pointing triangle 12th century Templar recovery filled down pointing triangle filled down pointing triangle filled down pointing triangle Vatican, Order of Malta speculative Freemasonry, filled circle excavations at the Temple Mount. During their 9-year stay, the original 9 Templar Knights conducted archaeological excavations, recovering foundational documents, ancient astrotheological texts, and lineage records detailing early Christian Gnostic initiation rites. Filled circle papal exemption. Pope Innocent II granted the Templars total immunity from local jurisdiction, creating an autonomous global intelligence and financial network. Filled circle the Order of Malta. Following the arrest and execution of Templar leadership in 1307 CE by King Philip IV of France and Pope Clement V, Templar assets were transferred to the Knights Hospitaller, preserving institutional lineage and operational security. Encoded geometry in secret societies. To survive persecutions and inquisitions, practical physics and astronomical calculations were masked beneath layers of allegory, architecture, and ritual drama. Filled circle classical antiquity, hollow circle institutional manifestation, Mithraic caves, Pythagorean brotherhoods. Hollow circle mode of preservation, astronomical alignment, tauroctony, geometric initiation century. Filled circle 1st-3 road. Hollow circle institutional manifestation, Gnostic sects, Essenes, Cainite, Sethian circles. Hollow circle mode of preservation, apocryphal literature, Gnosis, secret rituals. Filled circle 12th-14th century. Hollow circle institutional manifestation, Knights Templar, Knights Hospitaller. Hollow circle mode of preservation, sacred architecture, financial networks. Filled circle 17th century present. Hollow circle institutional manifestation, speculative Freemasonry, high degree rites. Hollow circle mode of preservation, working tools, mathematical symbols. The Unified Blueprint. Filled circle information containment. The Vatican and affiliated military orders functioned as institutional repositories, preserving physical and dynastic realities for the ruling class while dispensing simplified, dogmatic theology to the masses. Filled circle geometric preservation. Master Masons built Gothic cathedrals using mathematical ratios from Metatron's cube and Platonic solids, encoding applied physics directly into stone. Lineage of the craft. The preserved mysteries are inherited mathematical rules governing spatial structure, planetary cycles, and systemic power. Filled circle. 7. Non-canonical gospel analysis. Textual analysis of early Christian, Gnostic, and apocryphal literature reveals portrayals of Jesus that differ sharply from standard Orthodox theology. Filled circle. The naked youth passage, originating from a controversial fragment discovered in 1958 by Morton Smith at the Mars Saba Monastery. A raised young man wears only a linen sheet over his naked body to be initiated into a mystery by Jesus at night. Scholarly consensus remains divided between an ancient 2nd century Gnostic adjacent fragment and a modern or late antique forgery. Filled circle. The Infancy Gospels depicts a child Jesus who is temperamental, impulsive, and formidable, using supernatural power defensively or aggressively to explain undocumented childhood years using Hellenistic miracle worker tropes. Filled circle. Alternative historical models and Dionysian parallels. Writers like Ralph Ellis propose hyper-secular historical reconstructions linking Jesus to historical royal figures in anti-Roman resistance. Comparative religion scholars note structural overlaps between early Christian rituals and Mediterranean mystery cults focused on secret initiation, gnosis, and ritual rebirth. 8. The Morning Star Paradox. How translation choices fabricated Lucifer. In modern Western culture, Lucifer is understood as the devil, and the Antichrist as an apocalyptic world ruler. Early manuscripts reveal a strict linguistic disconnect created by translation choices, selective capitalization, and late theological synthesis. Ancient astronomical symbol filled down pointing triangle Hebrew. Hallel ben Shahar Greek. Phosphoros Aster Proanos filled down pointing triangle Latin Vulgate. Lucifer filled down pointing triangle 1611 King James Version capitalized into proper noun, Lucifer. The astronomical origin, Venus in Greek texts. In the ancient Mediterranean, the morning star referred to the planet Venus. Filled circle. Revelation 22:16 uses Aster Lampros ho Proanos as an honorific title for Jesus. Filled circle. 2 Peter 1:19 uses Phosphoros to describe internal enlightenment. The Latin Vulgate and Lucifer. In the late 4th century CE, Jerome translated the Bible into Latin, using the standard noun Lucifer for Venus, the morning star. Filled circle. In 2 Peter 1:19, Jerome translated Phosphoros directly into Latin, Denectis e lucis cat et Lucifer oriatur in cordibus vestris. Filled circle. Lucifer was a descriptive noun, not a proper name or demon reference. The Old Testament context. Isaiah 14:12. Isaiah 14 is a political taunt mocking the king of Babylon by comparing his political collapse to Venus fading as the sun rises. Filled circle. Original Hebrew, Hallel ben Shahar. Filled circle. Latin Vulgate, Lucifer, he main oribaris. Filled circle. King James Version, left Jerome's Latin word untranslated and capitalized it as Lucifer, son of the morning, causing a descriptive noun to be mistaken over centuries for the proper name of a fallen angel. Deconstructing, the Antichrist. Filled circle. The word, Antichrist, never appears in the book of Revelation, the Gospels, or Paul's epistles. Filled circle. It appears only 5 times across 4 verses in 1 John and 2 John. Filled circle. In its original 1st century context, the Greek word antichristos was a factional label applied to contemporary ideological opponents. It was never a singular, futuristic global dictator. Textual record timeline. Filled circle. Hebrew, Hallel was a poetic astronomical metaphor for a defeated Babylonian king. Filled circle. Greek, Phosphoros was a standard vocabulary word for light bringing, applied to Jesus and spiritual illumination. Filled circle. Latin, both concepts were translated using the common Latin noun Lucifer. Filled circle. English, selective capitalization turned a routine translation word into a legendary proper name.